All right, let's go into the to the main story of the night. This is the big one here. Neve Campbell is returning for Scream 7. And fans will recognize the new director. Yeah, this is big. This is big, guys. This is big. This is a reason why 130 of you are in here right now, by the way. This is big because what? Like, what? Famously, Neve Campbell didn't return for Scream 6. They didn't value her as a performer, and Sidney Prescott's character was kind of done, and whatever else, and they didn't want to pay her the money that she was owed. So they went and they did number 6 without her. Number 6 did really well, and then they were gonna do number 7, and then of course October 7th happens, and now here it is, all 6 months later almost, and we have this really differing view on that whole situation at this point, where Israel is now seen as the aggressor, Israel is now seen as the problem, and Israel is now seen as the group that is stopping any kind of progress, any kind of ceasefire from happening, to the point of where, and I'm gonna get political for a hot second, our President Biden has to build a port in the water in order to get around the blockades that Israel has put up to prevent aid from getting into the country to help the Palestinians who are in an open air prison. It's crazy to think about that for a second, right? It's crazy to think that this ties into the Scream franchise, but because Melissa Barrera, aka Samantha Carpenter, her what was supposed to be her big movie without Jenna Ortega, the big movie that was going to be filming already in Williamsburg, North Carolina, everything else, they had all of that going on, and then Spyglass Media got a little bit butthurt because she's out there on Instagram going like, well, who watches The Watchmen sort of thing, who controls the media sort of thing, Free Palestine. On her Instagram story, when I was researching that beforehand, there was a video up there of children that had been crushed by a bombing of a hospital. And the only pop culture reference I can give you to somewhat dilute the horrors in my mind of seeing that would be the scene from The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy finds the Wicked Witch's feet smashed underneath her house. If you want a reference image in your brain to give you a very soft-shelled approach to what I saw on her Instagram about the horrors of what happened there, that's an idea for you to kind of just let ruminate on in your brain for a little bit. I don't recommend going to look it up. I think it's gone by now, but there are some horrors. But as a result of her coming out and speaking about, against a genocide, what we have here is a situation where she was fired, publicly fired. They lost Jenna Ortega at the same time. Jenna, there's a scheduling conflicts working on, Wednesday season 2. Obviously, this can take a while. But she was going to have a cameo in the movie. They wanted her to have a cameo in the movie, but the cameo didn't happen because of all this stuff. And we all know that that Jenna has supported Melissa. And the fan base online, at least on social media, has very much supported Melissa in all of this. So now Neve Campbell's back all of a sudden. Christopher Landon is out, the new director, Kevin Williamson, the creator of the franchise, the writer of the original couple films. He's now back to write and direct this movie. This movie that can only, in my personal opinion, be described as the end of the franchise before a complete and utter reboot down the road. Because of the way Spyglass Media has handled this particular situation, they've very much disrupted this, right? The one person who lost out the most, I think, was Christopher Landon, because he was drug into all of this. And he was so happy to be working on this movie. He was so happy to be working on the Scream franchise, a franchise that he loves. He had nothing to do with anything that went on. And as a result, he left the project. And good for him for doing that. It's a whole mental health thing. But let's find out a little bit more. Let's find out a little bit more here, okay? Right. Again, I'm not against Kevin Williamson coming on board, but they need to do right by Melissa Barrera. They need to do right by Melissa Barrera. But it's Hollywood, and I don't think they will. So it says here, consider this the latest twist, or more accurately, a pair of twists in the Scream franchise's shock-filled history. After the 2022 film brought back the franchise in style with the 5th well-received entry, both among critics and especially at the box office, reuniting the original trio while introducing a new cast of younger characters, led by Melissa Barrera, the series seemed to be right on track. The trajectory hit a bit of a snag when reports came out that Paramount was lowballing icon Neve Campbell for Scream 6, followed swiftly by the controversial decision to fire new franchise lead Barrera from the seventh Scream film after her vocal support of Palestine in a series of social media posts, not to mention co-star Jenna Ortega's decision to drop out altogether. There's your, yeah, like at this point, like you have to find a way to hit a creative reset, okay? So, though many assumed that the latest installment would be left for dead, however, the series looks like it's coming back. In an Instagram post, Campbell announced that she's officially returning to the franchise she famously helped bring to life back in '96 as Sidney Prescott for the upcoming and currently untitled Scream 7. But that's not all. Joining her will be original screenwriter Kevin Williamson, now stepping into the director's chair and taking over for original directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, after they parted ways with the project. Christopher Landon was also attached to direct before eventually dropping out. See, the thing with this, though, like I love how they added that in there when it was Landon who was set to direct it when all of this shit went down, right? So let's find out some more here. If they say anything good, I don't quite know. Here's her post here, just untitled Scream 7, Neve Campbell, saying here, hi all. Oh, I can read the whole post here. Hi all, I'm so excited to announce this news. Sidney Prescott is coming back. It's always been such a blast and an honor to get to play Sidney in the Scream movies. My appreciation for these films and for what they have meant to me has never waned. I'm very happy and proud to say I've been asked in the most respectful way to bring Sidney back to the screen, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Yeah, because there's dollar signs dropping on that one, right? Make it rain, make it rain, make it rain. That's what they did. That's what Paramount and Spyglass did. Just dropped buckets of probably Bitcoin or, I don't know, NFTs or Pogs or something in order to get her to come back. She says, while I've been so incredibly lucky to make these films with both the master of horror, Wes Craven, and the wonderfully talented Matt and Tyler team, I've dreamt for many years of how amazing it would be to make one of these movies with Kevin Williamson at the helm. And now it's happening. Kevin Williamson is going to direct Scream 7. This was his baby, and it's his brilliant mind that dreamt up this world. Kevin is not just an inspiration as an artist, but has been a dear friend of mine for many years. To the amazing Scream fans, I hope you're as excited as I am. See you on set, Kevin Williamson. All right, so that's what we know about that one right there. Okay, so Sidney Prescott is returning. Obviously, some of the other characters are going to be coming back. They'll probably be gearing up to shoot in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is their double as the Scream 7 or as Woodsboro, by the way. So, and I've got a homie that's got an inside track record with that place. So maybe, who knows, maybe I'll be a scooper. I'll be dropping some ice cream scoops about Scream 7. I'm kind of curious about this though, to be fair, because how do you come back from that? Right? How do you come back from that particular situation and find yourself expecting to have the support of the fan base? All right. They're really hoping old school fans show up. You know, they're really hoping that old school fans show up, because then the question becomes, if you're bringing back Neve Campbell, are you going to bring back Stu? Because that's what everyone thinks is going to happen. And I really hope it doesn't happen. I'm not attacking Matthew Lillard. I love the guy. He's made jokes before about how he always seems to come back and stuff. You know, obviously Springtrap and Five Nights at Freddy's filming, I think, very soon, or actually maybe filming right now. Either way, they've got to nail this and do this in such a way that's going to make people not think about Melissa Barrera. And if they can, but at the same time, it's like, that's going to be on my mind for the whole time. Not to say that I'm not going to find enjoyment in the movie, but it's like, that is something that's going to be there. And are the fans going to ignore it? Are the fans going to just say, nah, screw this, we out, we done, we ain't coming back, you done screwed the damn pooch? I don't know. I do not know. Now, I agree with Tony here saying this should be Sidney's send-off. This should be the end of the franchise. This should be the end of the franchise. Absolutely. And as a result of that, we should definitely hope that that's what they want to do. So there's that. Anyway, we'll have to, we will have to see where that goes.